Welcome back to our 520 square foot DIY winter greenhouse. Today I want to cover all of the costs. We've got our cattle panels on, everything but the last 2 feet. So as we're nearing the completion of this entire build, I want to show the cost and how much we really put into this greenhouse compared to other kits online that are much more expensive. I'm going to try and drop a link to all the products I used in this build in the comment section below. So let's get started. I bought 2 Amazon greenhouse kits that were 26 feet long by 10 foot wide by 7 foot tall. We tunneled those 2 together and built around it with a wooden structure. So we bought 2 Amazon greenhouse kits that were about 200 bucks a piece, a little over $200, and we put them together. And we bought those just for the structure, so we had something to start with. It came with 2 junky kind of polys that were of this material that will not last in our winter. We ended up buying 2 rolls of 6 mil poly that was 5-year warranty, and we should get even more having double layers because it's not getting beat on as much. So we went with 28 feet wide to make sure we had enough to cover the entire greenhouse, and we went with 100 foot long so we could cap each side of the greenhouse, have plenty of extra poly. We ended up using about 60 feet on the first tunnel. We may use a little more on the second, but that leaves us with tons of poly. We have 40 extra plus feet by 28 left over for other projects and whatever leftover we have from our second layer. So we ended up using 12 cattle panels to finish this 52-foot greenhouse. They are 16 feet long by 50 inches wide, just over 4 feet. Now I ordered and we're using 2 of these window openers in this greenhouse, and these are wax filled, and they were about $30 a piece, so we add that in our total cost. So taking all of our screws and hardware into account, all together on our screws, fencing nails, and attachments, we spent about $45 on just hardware alone for this. Now, all of the wood in this build was absolutely free, or we had purchased it a long time ago. We've been saving and recycling all this wood to build this greenhouse, so we didn't spend nearly as much as we would, and I'm going to take that into account when I total up the final cost. Now, one major cost you take into account when building is labor. Our labor was absolutely free, so we cut major costs by building and doing all of this on our own. And my kids absolutely learned a ton, and I learned a bunch just from doing this myself. So all in all, the total breakdown, we spent about $420 on our kits. We spent about $640-ish on our poly. We spent about $335, $340 on our cattle panels, and about $45 on all of our screws and attachments. When I go look a $1,500 greenhouse up, it is about 6 by 12 feet, and it might have solid wall panels, but it is not nearly the space that you're going to get with something like this. So doing it yourself is absolutely the way to go if you can do that, because we will pay for this greenhouse with one farmer's market season with all of the fresh veggies that we can grow just in this greenhouse alone. So if anyone's got any questions pertaining to this build, or the cost expenditures we had on this, or the kits we used, or the poly, or anything, please let us know. Drop it in the comment section below. I really wanted to share the cost because when you compare this build to other builds that you're going to buy and put together yourself, this might not look as pretty, but it is going to serve its purpose.